If you have a console table in your foyer or living room, this project is a perfect way to warm it up with a homey, handmade runner. The open stitch work keeps it subtle and super quick to crochet, and with only a 2-row repeat, it's a great project for when you want to tune out and just enjoy the process. The step-by-step tutorial is coming up. I'm using Lion Brand jeans for this project, and actually I want to demonstrate this stitch pattern with this lighter color blue so you can see the stitches a little easier than the color I used for my actual runner in my house. I will swap over to the darker color later on when we talk about fastening off and blocking. So first things first, make a slip knot and 42 chains. When you have all 42 chains, find the second chain from the hook and single crochet there. Then make a single crochet in each remaining chain. Really simple for this row. I like to work my stitches in the back bumps of the chain because I think it gives it a cleaner look, but you can do whatever you're comfortable with. Now, if you're new around here, the best way to follow along with this tutorial or any of the tutorials on this channel is to have the pattern in front of you too. You can view it for free on my website, or if you prefer to have a copy in hand to print or save for later, you can pick up the PDF from my shop. I'll have a link to both of those options in the description below so you can do what works best for you. Alright, when you have the first row finished, it'll look something like this, and we're ready to dive into the lacy pattern, although we're not quite to the repeat yet. So for row 2, chain 1 and turn, then single crochet in the first stitch, and here's the repeat. Chain 2, skip a stitch, and cluster in the next. So to work a cluster for this pattern, you'll yarn over, insert the hook in the next stitch after the skipped one, yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through 2. Then yarn over again, insert the hook in the same stitch and pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through 2. Then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Alright, then chain 2, skip the next stitch, and single crochet in the one after that. And that's your repeat. Chain 2, cluster. Chain 2, skip 1, single crochet, chain 2, skip 1, cluster. Repeat that to the end of the row. And when you do, you should end with a single crochet in the last stitch. All right, moving on to row 3, which is where our repeat starts for this pattern. Chain 5, which counts as a treble crochet and a chain, by the way, and turn. Then find the first cluster and single crochet there. And here's the repeat for the row. Chain 5 and single crochet in the next cluster, skipping everything in between. Keep going with that until you work a single crochet in the last cluster stitch of this row. And when you do, instead of chaining 5, you'll chain 1 instead, and then treble crochet in the last stitch. So that finishes off the row, chain 1 and turn. And now for row 4, our second row in our repeat, it's basically the same as row 2. You'll single crochet in the first stitch because that chain doesn't count as a stitch. And here's the repeat. Chain 2 and make a cluster in the next single crochet stitch. Then chain 2 and single crochet in the chain 5 space. Now I'm just working it around the chain. You don't have to work into a specific chain. And keep going from there. Chain 2, cluster in the next single crochet. Chain 2 and single crochet in the chain 5 space. Now keep going with that until you have the last cluster in the last single crochet of the row. Then chain 2 and single crochet in the fourth turning chain. Chain 5 and turn. And that's where our repeat begins. So again, the repeat for this pattern is row 3 and 4. So to work the length of your runner, you'll repeat rows 3 and 4 until it measures about 32 inches, ending on a 4th row. Now, if you need your runner to be a little longer, this pattern's pretty adjustable. Just keep crocheting until it measures the length you want. Now, do keep in mind the longer you make it, the more yarn you'll need, so the amount in the pattern won't be accurate in that case if you're making it a little bit bigger. So just keep that in mind. So when you work up that repeat, your work will look something like this. So our starting edge has a row of single crochet to sort of even it out, and we need to make the finishing edge match. So for the final row, chain 1 and turn. Then make a single crochet in the first stitch. Followed by 1 single crochet in the next chain 2 space. Then make a single crochet in the next cluster and a single crochet in the next chain 1 space and 1 single crochet in the next single crochet. Then keep going with that repeat. When you reach the last stitch, single crochet there and fasten off. Next, go ahead and weave in the ends. Now it looks pretty good as it is, but the stitch pattern can really benefit from wet blocking to stretch out the stitches and clean it up a little bit. So to wet block, dunk it in water and gently wring it out so it's not dripping, and you'll want to pin it out, stretching it just a bit as you go. Now, I've mentioned here before how much I love these blocking boards because the grid makes it really easy to pin everything out evenly, especially when you're working on a rectangular project like this, but you don't have to have these. Athletic flooring tiles work really well too, or if your kids have those foam tiles that are like numbered in alphabet, those will work as well. I will have a link to where you can pick these up on Amazon though if you're interested. The biggest thing with wet blocking here is that as you pin it, you need to stretch it out a little bit as you go. Otherwise, you're not really doing a whole lot. You're kind of just pinning it out as it is. What we really need to do is stretch the stitches out so it sort of adheres to the shape and it really cleans it up a bit. As tempting as it is to pull it right off before it's fully dried, you do want to let this dry completely overnight or over a couple of nights before you unpin it so you have the best results. When it's nice and dry, remove the pins and you're all set. That's all for now, friends. I appreciate you watching and sticking with me here to the end. Don't forget to check the description for links to where you can see the pattern, and if you're wondering about any of the supplies I've used, you'll find all of those details in the pattern too. If you're new around here and you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you part of the community here. I make crochet and knitting videos like this all the time, and I'd love to keep inspiring you to make something that'll make you happy. And if you've been around here for a while and you're already subscribed, thank you so much. Without your help subscribing, liking, and sharing the videos, leaving me comments, checking out the patterns on the website, and buying PDFs from my shop, well, there is no way I could keep doing what I'm doing without that support. This channel runs off of your support, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. Happy hooking, and I'll see you in the next one.